Imagine waking up to this nightmare. No running water, no way to cook, clean, or even survive. As you know, water is absolutely essential, and in an emergency, it can disappear fast. In this video, I'll show you how to secure clean drinking water even when the tap runs dry. We'll explore hidden water sources you might not know about, effective methods to treat unsafe water, and proper techniques to store water for any emergency. First up, let's talk about where you can actually source water when it's no longer coming from your tap. In a pinch, the water in your toilet tank can be a hidden source of clean water. Now, the water in the tank, unlike the bowl, is completely separate and hasn't been contaminated. However, it's important to remember that the toilet tank only holds a few gallons, so it's best used as a short-term solution. Another hidden reservoir is your hot water heater. Most water heaters hold around 40 to 50 gallons, making them a significant source of emergency water. This is one that people often forget, but that's quite a lot of water to tap into in an emergency. To access the water, you'll need to find the drain valve, which is typically located near the bottom of the heater, but make sure to be careful because the water still might be hot. It might also have a bit of sediment depending on the condition of your heater, but you can deal with that later. If you live in a humid climate and have a dehumidifier, that could be another great source of emergency water and possibly have a few gallons available. Of course, if you already have a rainwater catchment system in place, you'll have a significant advantage in case of a disaster. Rainwater systems collect rainwater off of your roof and store it for later use, which provides a readily available source of water during an emergency. And so next, even after the main water supply shuts off, there still may be some water trapped in your home's pipes. While this won't be a huge amount, of course, every drop counts. To get this water, find the lowest faucet in your house and then place a bucket or another receptacle below it, and then go upstairs and turn on a faucet on an upper level. And if you can even attach a hose to the lower faucet to direct the water to an even larger container, that's even better. Swimming pools and hot tubs may seem like attractive sources of water, but it's important to note their serious health risks. These open bodies of water are prone to contamination from algae, bacteria, and chemicals from the air, especially if they're sitting untreated for a while. I'd advise against using pool or hot tub water as a drinking source unless absolutely necessary, and then only after proper treatment. Similarly, freshwater sources like rivers, lakes, and streams may seem like a viable option, but they pose a high risk of contamination from parasites, bacteria, and other pollutants. Drinking untreated natural water can lead to serious illness. Just like with pools and hot tubs, I'd really only recommend using these sources of water as a last resort, and then only after the water is properly treated, which I'll talk about next. Now, most of the water sources I've mentioned here are not going to be guaranteed safe to drink, so let's look at the different methods I recommend for treating your water in an emergency situation to make it suitable for consumption. Boiling is the quickest and easiest way to kill germs and just requires a pot and a heat source. The EPA says you should bring water to a rolling boil for at least 1 minute to kill bacteria, or 3 minutes if you're at altitudes above 5,000 feet. Obviously, this is only suitable if you have a heat source, so it's not necessarily going to be a viable option in every single emergency situation. Solar disinfection, also known as SODIS, is a great option if you don't have a heat source for boiling. This method uses ultraviolet rays from the sun to actually kill the bacteria in the water. What you'll need to do here is add water to a clear plastic bottle, then leave it out in the sun for up to 48 hours, which will allow the UV light to kill the microorganisms in the water. Of course, the drawback is how long it takes, so this method is really best used as a last resort. And of course, it works best with steady sunlight, so it might not be that viable of an option in areas that have frequent cloud cover. Chemical disinfection is one of the best, tried and true ways to make water safe to drink. So you have a couple of options here, and the first is to use sodium hypochlorite, which is your basic household bleach. Always ensure you use unscented, plain bleach without any additives. And the label may say the active ingredient contains either 6 or 8.25% of sodium hypochlorite. So following the EPA's chlorine disinfection guidelines, if you have 6% bleach, you add 8 drops to 1 gallon of water. And if you have 8.25% bleach, add 6 drops. You can also use iodine, which is another common chemical disinfectant that you may have in your first aid kit. Here you would add 5 drops of 2% liquid iodine tincture per liter of water. There are plenty of commercially available water treatment tablets, which are actually the safest and most convenient option. Regardless of the chemical used, let the treated water sit for at least 30 minutes to allow for proper disinfection. UV is a good alternative if you don't want want to add chemicals to your water. We've already discussed SOTUS, so we know that the UV light effectively destroys bacteria and other harmful microorganisms. A convenient way to use UV for this purpose is with a portable UV water bottle. With these, you simply fill the water bottle and then activate the UV light with a button, which ensures proper treatment. But it's important to note that UV treatment is most effective with clear water, and cloudy or murky water may require additional filtration or sedimentation first. Sedimentation is a useful technique for removing larger particles and debris. Now, it won't eliminate harmful bacteria or parasites on its own, so you'll need to follow up with boiling, chemical treatment, or another disinfection method. Here, you'll let the water sit undisturbed in a container for about 30 minutes. The heavier particles will settle to the bottom, allowing you to skim off the clean water from the top and discard the sediment. For faster clarification, especially with really murky water, you can use a flocculant like powdered ferric sulfate. I'll drop a link in the description, which helps clump particles together for faster settling. If you really need to, you can even create a makeshift DIY water filter with common materials like gravel, sand, and charcoal. While these DIY water filters can remove some sediment and impurities, it's crucial to understand that they will not eliminate harmful bacteria or parasites either. This video up here explains exactly how to make one of these DIY water filters step by step. Ceramic water filters are a great commercially available solution. They can remove particles as small as 0.2 microns, including bacteria and other pathogens. A major advantage of ceramic filters is their reusability. They can actually be scrubbed off and regenerated for long-term use, making them a sustainable and cost-effective solution. There are various water filters that use ceramic media, including both gravity-fed and pump-style systems. Hollow fiber membrane filters are another great option that you can buy online or at an outdoor gear store. Similar to ceramic filters, they feature really small pores that effectively eliminate bacteria and other contaminants as small as 0.1 microns. A key advantage of hollow fiber membranes is their compact design, which makes them ideal for on-the-go treatment. They can also be backwashed to flush out built-up contaminants, which gives them years of use filtering thousands of gallons. For the most thorough water purification, distillation is an excellent choice. This method removes virtually all impurities and contaminants by boiling the water and then condensing the vapor into a separate container, creating pure drinking water. While you can achieve distillation at home with improvised methods, purchasing a countertop water distiller is a simpler and more efficient option. However, these of course require power, so might not be an option if the grid is down, unless of course you have a generator or other source of electricity. It's also important to note that distillation is a slow process that takes several hours to produce a relatively small amount of water. If you need faster emergency water treatment, other methods like boiling, UV, or chemical disinfection may be more suitable. Now let's talk about how to store your water for emergency preparedness. The CDC recommends storing at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for 3 days for both drinking and sanitation purposes. So a 4-person household would need around 12 gallons for 3 days. But ideally, aim for a 1 to 2 week supply if you have the space available. So this is something you could do right now. Stash some water in a closet or a shed so you know you're prepared for the initial aftermath of an emergency. You can purchase bottled water and store it in its original unopened packaging for up to 2 years. Alternatively, you can store tap water in designated water storage containers. These can hold water indefinitely, but it's recommended to replace the water every 3 to 6 months or so to maintain freshness, so marking the containers with the refill date can help you keep track. Now, if you don't want to empty and replace the water that often, you can actually use a water preservative that can extend its storage life for up to 5 years. You can buy these online. I'll link a few in the description. Just make sure to aerate the water for about 30 minutes before you drink it to allow the preservative chemicals time to dissipate. So the simplest way to do this is just to pour the water back and forth between a couple of buckets. In terms of what type of containers to use, you'll most likely come across plastic containers for storing large volumes of water because they're both lightweight and affordable. Make sure to look for containers that are BPA free and made with food grade material. Sizes range from individual gallons to large 55-gallon containers, and the right size, of course, depends on your own available space and needs. Smaller, stackable 5-gallon containers might be easier to manage, and always buy these containers new to avoid contamination risks. I'd also sterilize them before use with a bleach and water mix just to be on the safe side. There are also plastic-free options, which are made of stainless steel or glass that are suitable for smaller volumes of water, typically just a gallon or so. So while they eliminate the risk of BPA or microplastic contamination, they may not be as practical or convenient. As to where to store your water, choose a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight to prevent bacterial growth and heat exposure. And avoid areas with high humidity or that animals can access to avoid container damage. Water is essential for survival, and having a plan and the necessary supplies in place can make a significant difference in an emergency. By following these tips on finding water sources, proper treatment methods, and safe storage practices, you can ensure you and your family have access to clean drinking water when you need it most. For quick reference, I've included links to additional resources as well as the products mentioned throughout the video. And if you enjoyed this video, you'll love the next one where we tested one of the most popular emergency preparedness water filters. Click or tap to watch it now.